Mr. Speaker, the American people are way ahead of the politicians. They have been telling us over and over again, we want a balanced approach to reducing our deficits. 1 in 5 Americans has said very clearly, we support the Republican slash and burn default plan that we see before us that only cuts services to Americans to try to help us balance our budget. But nearly 3 times as many Americans have been saying over and over again, we want to see a balanced approach between those cuts to very important services, a little bit of pain, but also tax increases on all those folks who've been taking polls and making a ton of money. The American people don't think it's a good idea to cut Medicare and Social Security and to cut Medicaid to protect tax loopholes for special interests. They've been saying that over and over. But here's the biggest clue that our Republican colleagues aren't listening. The American people have said over and over that the biggest deficit our country faces today is a jobs deficit. After 204 days as the majority, Republicans have only given us a slash and burn politics that has created not one single job for hardworking middle-class families. In fact, instead of creating jobs, their major pieces of legislation could potentially cost 2 million more Americans to lose their jobs. And the worst thing about this whole charade is that every single person here in this room today knows that this bill that we're discussing today won't go anywhere. We face the very real possibility of an historic default in under a week, and here we are spinning our wheels. We all agree that our nation must not default on its past obligations. The Republican members here must abandon their my way or the highway approach and work across the aisle on a balanced, bipartisan agreement to reduce our deficit, create jobs, and protect our seniors and our middle class. I say to my Republican friends, America is not short on work ethic, we're short on jobs. It's time for us to get to the business of America and create those jobs. I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman's time has expired. Gentleman from Michigan, Mr. Camp.
Mr. Speaker, I reserve.